Hello? Who's there? My name is Frank Jones. I'm a visitor. A visitor to our retirement home? Who are you here to see? I've come to see John McMillan. Does John know you? I don't think so, but I've been a fan of his for many years. Hold on. Mr. Jones, John will be delighted to see you. Please come in. Thank you. Come this way. John, this is Frank Jones here to see you. Why, thank you, Mr. Jones. Patrick, you can leave us alone now. Why, Mr. Jones, I understand that you've been a fan of mine for quite a few years. That's quite a compliment to tell an old, retired, one-legged circus clown. I don't get many visitors these days. Didn't used to be that way. People used to look forward to seeing me. Anytime the circus would go to a new town, people would buy tickets in advance. They'd wait for my show, and they'd applaud when I came out. Those were the days. I took a lot of pride in what I did as a clown. I did a lot of my own costumes. I did a lot of my own makeup. I invented some very special dances for a man with one leg. At the height of my career, I could dance better on one leg than most people in the audience could do with two legs. Those were the days, Mr. Jones. Tell me, are you from around town here? No, sir, I'm from Chicago, but originally I'm from Princeton, Idaho. Princeton, Idaho? Why, that's where I'm from. I even played on the high school football team. Of course, I had two legs in those days. What years were you there? I was there until the spring of 1968. The spring of 1968. That's when I had my accident. You probably read about it in the newspapers. Yes, sir, I read every newspaper about what happened. That was a night that changed my life. I had always wanted to be a firefighter. I was walking home from high school that night. Next thing I knew, I was waking up in the hospital. The doctors told me I'd been run down by a hit-and-run driver. And they had to amputate my leg. Things were never the same. And you know, they never caught the jerk. The witnesses said that he just drove off into the night in his black Chevrolet. No, sir. It was a blue Chevrolet that I was driving that night. That you were? You? You were the one? And you just drove away? I'm sorry, sir. I had my whole life ahead of me. You had your whole life ahead of you? And you left me there to bleed to death? Or to live a life like this? And why are you here now? To come take another piece of me? No, sir. I have never had a moment's peace since that night. Every night, I have nightmares of hearing you crying as I drove away. And every day, I feel that somebody's going to come up and put his hand on my shoulder and say, "Now we got you. We tracked you down." Mr. McMillan, I don't have a lot of time left. The doctors have said there's not much more they can do for me. I don't want to go see my Creator with this on my conscience. I just had to tell you how sorry I am for what happened that night. I guess I'd better go. Jones? Yes, sir. Mr. Jones, everywhere the circus went, people looked forward to seeing me. They'd line up to see my famous show. They'd laugh at my jokes. They'd applaud. And the kids would squeal with delight as they came up to me afterwards and stood in line to get my autograph. It's been a gift from God. I've had a good life, Mr. Jones. It's all right. Madam Toastmaster.